a large part of the task of the media is simply to direct people away from issues. So keep them focused on sitcoms and, you know, spectator sports or something, anything, as long as they don't get involved in something that might be serious.
And another reason why we decided to take bicycles was to see at a grassroots level what sort of destruction was going on, how the people were living in the forest, what they thought of the forest, and to see it in a level that was not necessarily through the eyes of corporate businesses.
The situation in Nicaragua got worse and worse through the 60s, and in the late 60s and in the early 70s, there began to be a response, an organized effort on the part of many different sectors of Nicaraguan society to resist the violence of the dictatorship. And
Good evening, and welcome to Dead Air Live. My name's Larry Yeager, and I'm your host for this evening's show, which we're calling Drive-In. Obviously, the theme has to do with the kind of weather we've been having lately, which just makes you wish that there were more drive-ins around like there used to be, that you could go and, even though I tend to want to go to movies in air conditioning now, but still, you miss the drive-ins. They used to be all around. But it's not exclusively drive-ins, because we don't have enough tapes to fill up an hour just with tapes about drive-ins. So we also have tapes about summertime and about driving. And the first tape we're going to be showing you is called 1616. The music is by David Grisman, and it's performed by a group called Delta 9. It's about driving, and let's watch it. That was 1616. The music was by Delta 9. The video was by Steve Sherblum. This evening we're doing summertime videos in Dead Air Live's show called Drive-In. And the next tape you're going to see is a tape to the Beatles song Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite from the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album. It was shot at the Open Air Circus, and let's watch Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite.
There will be a show tonight on trampoline. The Hendersons will all be there. Later Pablo Frank is there. What a scene! Over men and horses, hoops and garters. Lastly through a hogshead of real fire. In this way Mr. K will challenge the world. Celebrated Mr. K performs his feat on Saturday at Bishopsgate. The Hendersons will dance and sing as Mr. Kite flies through a ring. Don't be late. Mrs. K and H assure the public their production will be second to none. And of course Henry the Horse dances the waltz. When Mr. K performs his tricks without a sound, and Mr. H will demonstrate 10 somersets he'll undertake on solid ground. Being been some days in preparation, a splendid time is guaranteed for all. And tonight Mr. Kite is topping the bill.
That was Mr. Kite, as we call it for short. That was from the Open Air Circus show from a couple of years ago, very summerish. And the way the colors came out on it, it almost felt 3D, which of course is why everybody's sitting up here with 3D glasses on the movie screen, which is of course a whole other kind of drive-in, which is not just driving, but the kind that you used to go to, which I mentioned before. But other driving, there's also driving things like touring the country on a bus with a bunch of hippies. That's one thing that's fairly normal. So let's watch a film, tape of a film, about a bunch of hippies driving around America to the song America by Simon and Garfunkel.
We lovers will marry our fortunes together. I've got some real estate here in my bag, so we bought a pack of cigarettes and Mrs. Wagner pies, and walked off to look for America. said as we boarded a Greyhound in Pittsburgh. Michigan seems like a dream to me now. It took me 4 days to hitchhike from Saginaw. I've come to look for America. Laughing on the bus, playing games with the faces. She said the man in the gabardine suit was a spy. I said, be careful, his bow tie is really a camera. Toss me a cigarette, I think there's one in my raincoat. We smoked the last one an hour ago. So I looked at the scenery. She read her magazine, and the moon rose over an open field. Kathy, I'm lost, I said, though I knew she was sleeping. I'm empty and aching, and I don't know why. Counting the cars on the New Jersey Turnpike, they've all come to look for America. All come to look for America. All come to look for America.
Like that? No, I can't see it.
You're on.
We're back in the studio, I hear. That was America, Simon and Garfunkel. And right at the moment, I'm over my father's head. Yes, believe it or not, I'm talking and I'm over my father's head, looking out the roof of the Volkswagen. And what we're doing is we're getting queued up the next tape, which is again a song. It was live in the studio from a Bobby Watson's New Year's show. It will have a live song called Blues in the Bottle, followed by the report from the Somerville Producers Group, committee? Membership Committee. And the music is by Delta 9.
Blues in the bottle. Where do you think you're at? Pretty mama is blues in the bottle. Where do you think you're at? If you wanna be a girl of mine, you know I really like to have my fun. Well now, Sergeant Jones, chief of police, he's been a long time friend of mine. And if you see me running, you know you better call. If you wanna be a girl of mine, you know I really like to have my fun. To New Orleans, gonna put my new shoes on, pretty mama, yes, I'm going to New Orleans, gonna put my new shoes on. If you wanna be a girl of mine, you know I really like to have my fun. Well now, hello Central, can you I'm getting sick. Oh. Okay, you guys are in for it now. Oh.
How about another fastball?
You're in for it, guys. You better watch out, buddy.
Wow. Go all the way back.
Again for first place, the Living Baldwin wins tonight. Shot, deflected off the A. Vivian. That was number 18, Larry White. White on it. Tried to center, couldn't. Gave, backhand flip. Center ice, it could go in, and it goes! Dang!
That was both Blues in the Bottle and the report from the membership committee. And what the graphic was on each of those pictures, or little segments of film, was the name of the person who had been working on that particular segment. Now, we're back. I'm just back from vacation myself. I went up to the Rutland area, found the Rutland Drive-In, and went and took a couple pictures there. But that's part of the inspiration for tonight's show, was the Rutland Drive-In. So, and since we're about halfway through the show now, let's have our little intermission and then we'll be right back.
There's a drive-in movie full of juicy people. Wow! It's a trap! Help! It's Pick! We've had it, men.
A pleasant aroma for you, but not for mosquitoes. Pick is easy to use. Light it and forget it. Pick's aroma keeps mosquitoes, gnats, and sandflies away. Pick is on sale at the refreshment stand now.
The shocking story of the adolescent jungle and teenage turmoil in America today. An innocent young girl is tempted and trapped in the web of violent hoodlum mobs. See desperate children of violence in the revealing picture, Teenage Doll.
Teenage savages go wild in a juvenile jungle of lust and lawlessness. A frank, shocking revelation of untamed youth, of brutality and immorality. See the startling story of how young rebels of society get lost in a juvenile jungle. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building.
Hey, Mom. Yes, you. Why fuss and fret about dinner? Why not have it right here? Yes, this drive-in offers everyone in the family a real picnic treat for dinner. We've got delicious sandwiches with all the trimmings and your other dinner favorites, plus whatever you want to drink, hot or cold. Come early before the show starts, or eat while you're being entertained, or at intermission time. So why fuss? Give your family a tasty dinner at this drive-in. Popcorn!
The best popcorn in town is Manly's High Pop, in regular or jumbo cartons. Here's why. Take the tastiest, tenderest, scientifically grown popcorn, add pure, delicious seasoning and specially prepared salt. Then let the famous Manly machine work its magic on Manly popcorn. America's favorite popcorn. Crisp, savory, wonderful. Visit our concession stand now for Manly's High Pop.
Mamboomba! Best in good taste, our good name is based on the franks and soft drinks that we serve. So step up right now, ask for high grade and how they're the best as you soon will observe. One bite'll sure tell why we say they're so sweet, so don't miss, have a hot, tasty Frank. For that sweet tooth of yours and to satisfy her, the selection of candy's top rank. Yes, right now is the time, there's no standing in line, just step up and you'll get snappy action. Potato chips you can munch, maybe have a light lunch.
Come on, folks, it's our major attraction.
Monsters do have their place. In the zoo, in your nightmares, in the deep, in your favorite horror movies. But not in your living room, on your TV. Don't let pay TV be the monster in your living room.
Drive away your worries and cares at this drive-in theater, where you will see the finest motion pictures of all time, soon to be released. Drama, comedy, adventure, excitement, something for everyone.
And now, on with the show.
Okay, that tape I called drive-in shorts, and I think it's fairly obvious why. Drive-ins, as I said before, are regrettably a disappearing phenomena, and generations will miss something that was really particularly American and wonderful with their passing. But in this kind of weather, I don't really think our major concern is with drive-ins right now. Really, it's hot. In case you hadn't noticed, it's hot. It's been hot for a while. So the next tape isn't really to do with drive-in or drive-ins. It's a winter tape, and it's called Kyaneskatesy. It's by Bob Smitty Smith, and I don't know what else to say about it. Let's watch it.
but there's more up ahead too. Yeah, I've seen that. That's great. I haven't seen it so much. You can't tell because you don't see color. Close your eyes. Put that hat on. That was great. How's that feel, Darla?
Worse than anything.
We're back. Doesn't that really make you wish that it was winter, hard as it is to believe, especially on weather like this? Well, earlier in the show I was my father now I'm myself as a very young child, about 6 months, with my mother. And the next tape we're going to have is going to be a tape from the May 14th this year March, Women Against Violence March. Producers Group member Steve Sherblum shot it, and I'm told it's queued up, so let's watch it.
I'm Linda, and I'm Teresa McMahon.
And why did you come? Why are you here?
I'm here because I'm on the Somerville Commission for Women, so I came last year. And it's nice to do something part of the community that says very clearly and loudly and out there that it's not okay to have violence against women. But it also feels like a fun time too. It feels like a good time to come together with people that I work with throughout the year to celebrate too, that we survive what happens. And I'm here because it's fun to be with, or it's empowering to be with men and women who are coming out against violence against women. It's a pretty mixed crowd, so I feel strongly about it.
What do you think is the most pressing problem in Somerville? Violence against women?
Domestic violence, and there's gay and lesbian bashing, hate crimes. Yeah, I would say domestic violence because it's the ones you don't hear about, and it's, I think, the ones that don't make the news and don't make, and people, again, feel like a lot of women think that they're safer, that they're not at risk when they're in their house, or they're not, you don't hear about it, so it's not as glamorous, it's not as flashy. And I guess also gay bashing in the city. It doesn't, I think that there's been moves to be more aware of that, and that feels really nice in the city that at the time that I've watched that change, people are much more aware of homophobia, and I feel safer than I used to, which is nice.
That's great. What do you think the average person can do who's, maybe home watching on their TV set? They know that there's violence against women. Is there something that they can do?
In the age of cutbacks, Respond is a pretty radical, it's been around. Respond is a better women's shelter. Giving money, if you can't get involved, giving money to places that are going to really suffer because of budget cutbacks.
Anything else?
I would say there's lots of places to get involved and volunteer, and also to just when you see something that disturbs you, to say something about it. So if you see someone, even if you just calling the police, if you hear somebody scream and you're sitting in your apartment, better to tell somebody you heard somebody screaming or saw somebody.
Okay, and that you're interested.
I noticed as I was standing back there that a big blimp that said "Fly Virgin" flew over us. I was a theological student. Wait, I may save it all. I was a student of theology, and what I learned in Hebrew class that the word virgin meant not under the authority of a man. So, for all the virgins out there, and for all of you that are trying to be virgins, let's take to the streets and stop violence. I'd like to sing a song for you called "Crossing the Lines," and I think it's very important that we continue to cross the lines for all the isms, whether it be racism, sexism, classism, heterosexism. Let's keep crossing the lines and say we want no violence and we want justice for all people. Heard the news, she's unidentified. They say it was a domestic fight. And they tell me they have fired someone for coming out of the closet tonight. So I'm crossing the lines for justice, crossing the lines for peace, crossing the lines for liberation, crossing the lines for you. Children crying walking in our city streets. Tell me, people, what is our choice? When government cuts our money and there's guns to silence their voice. So I'm crossing the lines for justice, crossing the lines for peace. I'm crossing the lines for liberation, crossing the lines for you. Women sitting in prison for rights they know are theirs, writing songs about freedom and for the ones who have disappeared. Sing with me. So I'm crossing the lines for justice, crossing the lines for peace, crossing the lines for liberation, crossing the lines for you.
Some people just know how to spend the summer. You know, you head off to the beach, spend some time at the beach in your overcoats, right? And you know, get your car washed, nice and easy. But yeah, that was the Women's March Against Violence. And the next tape we're going to look at is a beach tape, even though it's middle of winter beach. It's called The Cape, January '73. It's one I made in January of 1973. Let's watch The Cape. that music was that subversive music by that subversive band, the Beach Boys. They tried to tear up D.C. a couple years ago, if you remember, on the 4th of July of all times. But the tape itself was shot on the Cape and edited a couple years ago. And moving right along on the show this evening, what we have next is called History of Us. The song is by the Indigo Girls. I guess it's just Indigo Girls. And the video is all footage from my old home movies, and I'm not sure there's anything else to say about it.
Forget your face, captured in stained glass, young lives long since past, statues of lovers, every place. I went all across the continent to relieve this restless love. Icons of glory smashed by the bombs from above. So we must love while these moments are still called today. Take part in the pain of this passion play, stretching our youth as we must, until we are ashes to dust, until time makes history of us. Shoot of palms for the faces, knowing peace, knowing canvas and oil, there's just no medium for life. In the midst of the rubble, I felt a sense of rebirth in a dusty cathedral. The living God called, and I prayed for my life here on earth. So we must love while these moments are still called today. Take part in the pain of this passion play, stretching our youth as we must, until we until time makes history of There are mountains in Switzerland, brilliant cold as they stand. From my hotel room, watching the half moon bleeding its light like a lamp, and the town is tiny figures are fast asleep, and it dawns on me The time is upon me to return to the flock I must keep. So we must love while these moments are still called today. Take part in the pain of this passion play. We're stretching our youth as we must until we are ashes to dust, until time makes history of us.
We're back in the studio, and we're ready for the last tape of the show. This is Dead Air Live this evening. I've been your host, Larry Yeager. I'm glad that you've watched the show. The next tape, for those of you who regularly watch Dead Air Live, you may wonder why we've had so few overtly political tapes. Well, the next tape we have is another song, but it'll be a little more political than some of the ones we've had so far. It's called One More Parade. The song is by Phil Oakes, and I think I'm going to take my Stingray and cruise over and see it.
Up, 2, 3, 4, marching down the street, rolling of the drums and the tramping of the feet. General salutes and the mothers waving we. Here comes the big parade. Don't be afraid, price is paid. One more parade. So young, so strong, so ready for the war, so willing to go and die upon a foreign shore. All march together, everybody looks the same, so there is no one you can blame. Don't be ashamed, light the flame, one more parade. Listen for the sound and listen for the noise, listen for the thunder of the marching boys. A few years ago, their guns were only toys. Here comes the big parade. Don't be afraid, price is paid, one more parade. So young, so strong, so ready for the war, so willing to go and die upon a foreign shore. All march together, everybody looks the same, so there's no one you can blame. Don't be ashamed, light the flame, one more parade. Medals on their coats and guns in their hands, trained to kill as they're trained to stand. 10,000 ears need only one command. Here comes the big parade. Don't be afraid, price is paid, one more parade. So young, so strong, so ready for the war, so willing to go and die upon a foreign shore. All march together, everybody looks the same, so there's no one you can blame. Don't be ashamed, light the flame, one more parade. Cold, hard stares on faces so proud, kisses from the girls and cheers from the crowd. And the widows from the last war crying to their shrouds. Here comes the big parade. Don't be afraid, price is paid. Don't be ashamed, war's a game, world in flames, so start the parade.
less than the 59. We're back. That was one more parade. The footage was from Washington, Somerville, and New York City, and a couple other newscasts. They were all taped off of 3 different nights' newscasts. And that was our show, Drive-In. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in again next week for the next edition of Dead Air Live on tape, and 2 weeks from now when we'll be live again. Thanks for watching. Good night.
There will be a show tonight on trampoline. The Hendersons will all be there. Later Pablo Frank is there. What a scene! Over men and horses, hoops and garters. Lastly through a hogshead of real fire. In this way, Mr. K will challenge the world. Celebrated Mr. K performs his feat on Saturday at Bishopsgate. The Hendersons will dance and sing as Mr. Kite flies through a ring. Don't be late. Mrs. K and H assure the public their production will be second to none. And of course, Henry the Horse dances the waltz. To 6 when Mr. K performs his tricks without a sound. And Mr. H will demonstrate 10 somersets he'll undertake on solid ground. There've been some days in preparation, a splendid time is guaranteed for all. And tonight Mr. Kite is topping the bill.